There are a lot of cool features in the Vassal module for the Greatest Day and really the GTS series as a whole. A lot of automated features around combat, record keeping, and things like that. But there's also some automation around the chit activation sequence in the way that the module manages activation chits. So I wanted to go into some of the details about the way that that works and some things to look out for. So I have opened up the Greatest Day module. The campaign game is open, and I've got a mock-up of the, let's say, the end of a turn here where a number of dispatch points, division chits, direct command chits, and formation chits are used. And normally you lay them out in order, but I've broken them out just to make them a little bit easier to identify. And so, for instance, you have a number of dispatch division chits at the top. Also, the naval chit. You've got your direct command chits, event, and the Royal Marines. And those are all chits that will automatically go into the mug for free on most turns. And then I've separated out a number of formation chits at the bottom. So let's say that you get to the end of the turn, you're ready to set up the mug of chits, activation chits for the next turn. And naturally, the first thing that you want to do is click on the refill mug button within the mug window. So I'll go ahead and click that, and you'll see the chits go away from the used AM section, which I imagine stands for action markers or something like that. And then they're in the mug. Well, if you were to pull those out, you would actually see that the only ones that are in the mug at this point are the ones that are the division chits, the direct command chits, the event chit, and the naval chit. So all the ones that automatically go in for free are the only ones that are shown, right? So let me go ahead and push that button again and go back in the mug. So the question becomes, well, where did the formation chits go? And so one of the bits of automation that's in the module is the use of these kind of formation chit windows within the module. There's an Allied one, and there's naturally a German one. And so really what's required is that you've got in competitive play, you've got a person logged in as an Allied player, and you've got a person logged in as a German player. And those those logged in players will have access to their respective formation chit windows, but will not have access to their enemy chit windows. So for instance, right now I'm logged in as an observer. Let's say that I want to join another side and become an allied player. You'll see that this formation chit window is now active as the allied player. And once I click on it, lo and behold, here are all my formation chits. And so the module, what it's done is it's automatically, when you click the refill button, it's automatically put the chits in the mug that are the ones for free, and the formation chits that actually cost dispatch points to purchase, it's put in the respective side's formation chit window. Okay, well, that's kind of helpful. So what do you do with this chit window, this formation chit window? Well, this is where you can make your selections about where and which chits you want to purchase for the current turn and which chits you want to purchase for the next turn. And it's a pretty simple process. Let's say that I want to purchase the formation activation chit for the 231st from the 50th Infantry Division. I can simply right click on that and say, hey, purchase for this turn. And there's actually a little label that reminds me that that will cost 2 dispatch points. If I click on that command in the submenu, the chit is automatically and directly placed into the mug for me, which is quite helpful. And in contrast, if I want to purchase a chit for the next turn, I can click on that and it'll say for 1 dispatch point. And what's helpful, it'll put it in this purchased window. It'll put it face down so my opponent won't know what it is. And I can do that with all the chits that I want. So I'll go ahead and purchase a few for next turn, and I'll purchase a few for this turn. Now, one thing I should point out is that the module will not automatically deduct the dispatch point cost. You actually have to do that manually. So for instance, if I can remember, yeah, here's the command and dispatch point tracker. Again, let's say that I'm doing the 50th Infantry Division, which is right here. I'll go ahead and buy the, let's do somebody else. Let's do the 6th Airborne. So here's the 5th para from the 6th Airborne. If I click on purchase for this turn, it'll go on the mug automatically, but you'll see my dispatch points haven't changed. So I need to go ahead and deduct 2 dispatch points manually. All right, so continuing the turn, let's say that all these chits have played. I'll go ahead and drag them out. For what it's worth, as you can imagine, this works the very same way for the German player. They just have to, you actually have to be logged in as the German player though to do this. What's kind of actually interesting though is for the module, you can only have one German player and one Allied player. Everybody else has to be logged in as an observer. So really it's up to one core player for each side to kind of manage this process. If you're playing solo, it's something that you have to decide on your own if this is the way you want to do it, meaning you want to deal with switching back and forth between sides using the switch side button, or do you want to manage the formation chits manually? For my own purposes, when I play solo, I tend to just do this manually because I don't like jumping back and forth between the different sides. But it's worth checking out if that's what you want to do. Okay, so now last thing I want to show you that all the chits are out from the mug. It's the end of the turn. You remember that we bought 2 chits earlier for the next turn, and when I click on the refill mug, those chits don't go in. So you actually have to kind of come down here, and I think, nope, I guess you got to drag them in. It's worth noting that all the randomization and all the shuffling will happen automatically. There's nothing that you need to do. Doesn't really matter which order you lay them out or add them to the mug. If you do something manually, it'll shuffle automatically. So that's how you use the mugs and the formation chit windows. Hope you find that helpful.